Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Rachel Klein and I will be your presenter here for the next 20 minutes. Today we're going to be talking about giving accounts in the donations module. So we're going to go over how to create new giving accounts, how to link them over to accounting if you have them. We're going to also talk about some specific setup items you can go through for each of your giving accounts, managing, making changes to them. And then I'm also going to cover a little bit towards the end about the subtotals that you can create for your list account balances report in donations as well. Like always, I am recording this webinar. I'll get it cleaned up and put up on our website at churchwindows.com here by the end of the day. So if you want to rewatch this or share it with somebody else, you can find it out at churchwindows.com in our resource center. It'll be the first one up at the top there. If you have questions today, feel free to type those questions in on your GoToWebinar toolbar in the questions section. It's just me today, and I won't look or read the questions until after I'm done presenting. So if you have a question, feel free to just type it in, but keep in mind I won't get to it until after the presentation's done. If you want to follow along with your work from our Donations 101 workbook, it's pages 26 through 36. If you have the workbook and you want to follow along, please feel free to do so. But we're going to go through managing your giving accounts. We're going to go through how to change IDs, change the name, maybe get rid of some giving accounts that you aren't utilizing anymore. And then we're also going to go over the specific account details. So some customizing options you can do specific for those giving accounts that you have, how to link them over to the accounting module, and then we're also going to talk a little bit about subtotals towards the end. Okay? So when you open up donations, you have two options to open up the giving accounts screen. You can click here on manage accounts, or you can come up here under accounts and pledges and go to manage accounts this way. Either option is fine. It's going to take you to the exact same screen. So here is the giving account screen. On the left-hand side, you have your IDs. These can be numbers or letters. It's up to you. You can do a combination of both. And then over here to the right, you also have your giving accounts. So as you can see in this sample data that we're using, there's a decent amount of giving accounts already preset in here. If you are new to Church Windows, I would recommend getting with your committee, kind of talking about those different funds or areas that people should be able to give to, and then kind of jotting them down in a list and then adding in some IDs to it as well if you wish to use IDs. Kind of getting a little organized before you jump in and start entering the giving accounts should give you a really good head start for once you start entering those donations. On page 27 in that Donations 101 workbook, there's most of the page actually talks about if you're new to Church Windows. So if you specifically are new, check out that page 27 in the Donations 101 workbook. It's really going to give you some good thinking points to start on before you start entering those giving accounts into Church Windows. Okay. Now let's talk about adding a giving account. It's a fairly simple process. What I usually tell people before they jump in and start adding a new account is to come into your giving account screen and kind of look over your IDs. A lot of people I talk to, they'll be like, well, what ID should I use? And I'll be like, well, it'll depend on what ID you have available. So it's really helpful to come in here first, look through your list of IDs. If you have them in some type of order, which a lot of people I talk to do, they like to keep certain numbers for certain types of accounts. You don't have to, but it's an option. Come in here and see what account is available. So I am going to create a new giving account, for example, and I'm going to use it for a mission trip to Haiti. So to create a new account, you can come right up here in the giving accounts window and just hit this little green plus sign, or you can come up here and hit the add account button up here. Again, it's going to take you to the exact same screen. And it's pretty basic. So you're going to put in the ID. So I know 107 is available because I checked my list, and then in my account name, I'm going to put in the name of the giving account that I need to create. All right. Now, at this point, you can hit Add Giving Account and close out of this screen, or under Show Detail, if we hit the little down arrow, you're going to have some options to go through for this new account. So as you can see, this Detail tab matches what's already existing within the Manage Account screen. Same thing with accounting links. This tab is available, and it's available here. Okay. So you can do it right when you're adding it, or you can always come back to the account later and manage accounts and make your changes. So for this account, do we want this giving account to print on the statement? For this, yes we do. So I'm going to leave print on statement correct. Sometimes you might need to create a giving account, but it's not, say, tax deductible. So you would change this giving as tax deductible box from a yes to a no, and then that will group that money differently on a donation statement. So these two can sometimes work together, okay? So do I want it to print on the statement? I'm going to leave that checked. And is giving tax deductible for this type of account? Yes, it is. An example of a non-tax deductible giving account might be if people are buying dinners for a fish fry, or you have a library and somebody purchased a book. Something like that wouldn't be considered a tax deductible donation, so you could change it to no. All right. Is this account going to be a pledge account? Should people have the ability to pledge to the Mission Trip to Haiti account? And if they can, then you will leave that checked. You can also put in this default frequency. So if when people pledge, you want to have a default pledge of monthly or weekly, you could specify that. And then when you go to enter a pledge to this, it's automatically going to pull up that default frequency for you. You can still change it. It's just an option to save you a click from having to change the frequency each time. And then, of course, you have some options for comments. So say this trip's going to occur in February 2023, and so is the head of this group. Whatever it might be, you can type in those comments right here. All right. Next tab, this is your accounting links tab. So if you use our accounting module, this is going to be when you transfer from donations over to accounting, what debits and credits, or where do you want that account to debit and credit on your chart of accounts. So you would simply fill that in here. Okay, and if people are going to be able to do a prepaid, so they pledge to this and they put in a prepayment, this would be what liability account you would want that money to go to on the transfer. All right, I'm going to say add giving account. Now that my screen is blank, I'm going to say OK. And now if I look here, 107, here's my Mission Trip to Haiti account. And then, of course, over on the right, I can make any changes as I need to. Okay. Now, a couple other things I want to point out while I'm in here. You do have the option to make account inactive. So if you have a giving account, it's been around for a while, you don't need it anymore. Let's talk about this kitchen reno account. If we want to get rid of it, if there's any giving to it at all, even if it was 5 years ago, you're not going to be able to delete it. Okay, the software won't let you. Your only option is going to be to come up here and make it inactive. All right, so you'll check that inactive box. Let's refresh our accounts here. And now if we scroll back down, we can see that that account for our kitchen reno is no longer there. Okay. Over here on the lower left, if you want to see all the different accounts that you've made inactive over the years, you can check this to just show inactive instead of showing active, and it's going to show you your 2 red ones now because they're both marked inactive. If you decide, well, actually, we still need some money for our kitchen renovation, I'm going to bring that back, you would just uncheck the inactive box. Let's refresh accounts. And now that kitchen reno account is going to be back. All right. Pretty straightforward stuff here. Now let's talk about while we're in here editing a giving account. Say you type the name wrong or you want to change the wording of an account. Let's say we want to call it Haiti Mission Trip instead. All you do is click right in here, and it's just an open text box. So you can type in and change the text of the giving account. Same thing with the ID. Say we want to make this 111 instead. Simply click in there, and it'll allow you to edit. It's an open field, okay? Now, let's talk about ordering giving accounts. This is a really helpful tool on the Enter Donation screen. So when you're entering giving, let me show you real quick what I'm referring to. And you come, let me change this to manual real quick. And you come in here, let's put last Sunday in, you choose your giver. Let's do $100. Put in my check number. When you come down here under account/pledge, there's going to be a preset order to these giving accounts and what they appear in. Okay, so let's say we're kind of making a push for our Haiti mission, and then we're also making a push, obviously, for Easter or Lenten giving. So we can reorder these giving accounts to then be in the specific order we want. So the mostly used ones at that time are up higher in the list. Okay, this is done one of two ways. You can do it right here, hitting this little 3-dot button. This will set your giving account order, or you can come up to the top under accounts and pledges and hit order accounts here. Once you click that, it's then going to show you all of your different giving accounts that are not inactive right now. So let's say I want to move my Haiti mission trip up higher in the list. I would just highlight it, and then I would hit this up arrow, and I just keep clicking it. It'll continue to jump up higher in the list until I get it right where I want. Also, let's move Lent, and let's move Easter up a little higher. So this is how you then set this order when you're entering your donations. There's also some quick buttons down here at the bottom, little shortcuts. You can sort by name, alphabetical order. You can sort by number. It's going to strictly put them in ID order, or you can check this to put all of your new giving accounts that you added right up at the top of the list. Okay, up to you. And then just make sure you hit OK, not cancel, or it won't save. All right, so last thing I want to talk about is subtotals. I'll be honest with you, not a lot of people I talk to utilize this. I'm not sure if it's because they don't know it exists or they're just not sure how to use it. The only report that subtotals affect in donations is the list account balances report. So let me show you the report first. So up here under reports and export, lists and labels, click on list account balances. I'm just going to leave it for the whole year so far, and then I'm going to hit print. And this is going to show you your different subtotals that you have set up. So we have a building fund subtotal, we have a total annual giving, total holiday giving, and then this total in and out giving. So you can see here looking at these lists, the accounts have been grouped accordingly into the specific subtotal. All right. Oh, there's also a memorial giving down here as well. Now, what I want you to keep in mind is that you can reorganize these subtotals however you wish, depending on how you want them grouped and totaled for your report. So if I close out of the preview, close out of our balances report, I'm going to come back up here to accounts and pledges, and I'm going to click on subtotals. Now you can add as many new subtotals as you wish. So wherever you see the arrow, that is the specific subtotal. Okay. If I come down here and I hit show accounts, whenever I see this icon, this is the actual giving account, and then the giving account ID is in brackets. So you can then drag and move different accounts into the different spots. So let's put our Haiti mission trip into our in and out giving. I will choose that. I'll hit move account, and now Haiti mission trip is down here with the total in and out giving as well. You can also do the old drag and drop method. If you just click and hold, you can move it to the new subtotal that you wanted in. And then once you get things changed, we can close out of here, Let's rerun that report. And now Haiti mission trip is here in the list. Okay. Again, pretty straightforward, not overly complicated stuff. I do actually really like this report, and I like that you can put it in subtotals. So you can always go in and play around with the subtotals to get it organized the way that you like. All right, folks, that is everything that I wanted to go over with you today.